You can see right now there's still hundreds of people out here. They have been breaking the windows of the shops here on King Street. Protesters have broken out the window of our Live 5 News car as we were reporting. Here in South Carolina, it's such a diverse state. It's that first in the South that we see a true representation of the rest of the United States. Right now I'm on one of the buoy boats and they are actually fixing this buoy like a corridor, basically a wind tunnel. Y recursos relevantes a esta historia en nuestra página web live5news.com. They've seen an unprecedented request for people to send in their ballots by mail. A new software designed to track and help state agencies notify you when they go into the ocean. They say they're having worms actually eat through the middle of the wood. This is where the Black Lives Matter protest started at 6 o'clock and still has not ended. You can see behind me that there's still a group of about 10, 15 people here, 100 and 150 cameras like these that are on the houses on the east side so that they can film the street. Whoever does really well in this primary could really take that momentum with them into Super Tuesday.
We'll all be watching. Lillian, thank you very much.
She touched the hearts of many people. She just was loved everywhere.
The family of North Charleston local Jennifer Grant described her as a light to others.
They just gravitated towards her because of her spirit, how loving she was, and she was help anyone she could. She was just, she just had a heart of gold.
But after going missing late last month, they're now learning the gruesome details of how her life was taken.
I don't think two human beings should determine the way they buried her.
Investigators say that sometime in the 5 days before Thanksgiving, Curtis Smith killed Grant with a kitchen knife during a fight at Smith's home before burying her in his backyard. But court documents say it didn't end there. Instead, the couple outside their home actually dug Grant up, put her in a recycling bin. They then wheeled her across this road and over to an abandoned railroad track where they left her body.
And took her across the streets and buried her on a railroad track. It's really hard. That's not no respect.
Grant's cousin says they are heartbroken and feel she was robbed of a bright future.
She just graduated from college and she was working down to the VA hospital.
They also said they want more answers about what led to the killing.
We do believe there is more than a story being told than what's actually being told to us. We ask that justice definitely be served. But also I ask that you pray for the family.
Tonight, only 2 questions sit on her mom's mind.
I would just like to know if she had any last words, or did she suffer? Did she call for her mom?
Born and raised in the same neighborhood, Grant's family says home will never feel the same with her gone. Reporting in North Charleston, Lillian Donahue, Live 5 News. Authorities here in Walterboro have rescued 3 people from a flooded apartment complex you can see far behind me. However, there are still some people who say they're going to stay.
I mean, as you can see, it goes all the way back to the back of the property. It does not stop.
A wave is how close I can get to Rachel Dobbins.
We know and we prepare for it to flood some. We were not prepared for it to flood like this.
Days of rain cutting her and her neighbors off from the rest of the city.
It's still really deep.
The water also impacting local Walterboro businesses.
I was able to get through on the other side, but once I started looking around, I came in to check my shop and it was pretty good, but the water is pretty high.
Some are closing early as road closures make it hard for customers to get to their front door.
Basically, some of my appointments have canceled because of the rain, so it's been ups and downs all week.
For those in the area, the Ireland Creek floods often, but seldom runs like a river.
We live right next to a creek. It does flood. However, it does not flood like this.
Or even look like a lake.
I just want this, just basically late to leave.
For Rachel, she plans to stay inside and feels like help is not far away.
I do feel safer knowing that Walterboro Police Department and Colleton County Fire Rescue, they were on it, they were here, they brought the proper equipment to get us out if we wanted to go, and I feel sure that if we need them, we can get out quickly.
Those with the sheriff's office say that everybody they've gotten out is safe tonight. Reporting in Walterboro, Lillian Donahue, Live 5 News.
Right now, our only 2 focuses are getting the city together and bridging the gap between the relationship.
No justice! No peace!
The bridge, both a challenge and a metaphor,
as hundreds took to the sidewalk, calling for unity in a tumultuous time.
For the first time in a long time, over however many people are here, we're all together, and this is Charleston.
George Floyd! The planned protest was one of many in the Low Country this week after the death of George Floyd sparked national outrage. Mount Pleasant police blocked off a lane and walked with protesters.
They took time to listen. That's the biggest thing. They actually took time to listen.
And those who didn't want to walk helped in their own way, like Yindia Jenkins, who brought food, water, and masks for free.
And I bring it to the protest. As long as it's a peaceful protest, then they can have whatever they want. You're welcome. Everybody can pitch in. Everybody can help. You can do something, even if you don't want to walk. Like, I'm not going to walk.
Black Lives Matter! For those who took to the bridge, the original plan was to stop halfway, but momentum carried the crowd more than 5 miles.
Hundreds of protesters just paused at the top of the Ravenel Bridge here. They took an 8-minute pause in honor of George Floyd. Now they're continuing to the end of the bridge.
What do we want? Justice!
The protest remained peaceful.
Like coming together all as one and saying, hey, you know, like, let's attack this illness. Let's say Black Lives Matter. Let's say we're not going to tolerate anymore. Let's be anti-racist.
The march took about 2.5 hours to complete. Reporting in Mount Pleasant, Lillian Donahue, Live 5 News.
They should be letting families know what's going on, and we should not be having to get it from outside sources.
Janet Nesbitt lives in North Carolina, but her son is locked up in a prison right here in the Low Country. She called Live 5 Investigates after seeing our story last month about the COVID-19 cases at FCI Williamsburg.
I want a full report on what's going on with my son. Other families need to know what's going on with their family members, and not that they're just okay.
The Federal Bureau of Prisons reported 104 confirmed active coronavirus cases on Monday, among the more than 1,300 inmates here. Today, the agency says that active number is down to 38, with 89 inmates recovered.
He did end up catching COVID.
Marshall Jenkins from Indiana says his father is one of them.
We had no clue as the family until he called us on December 22nd and said, hey, I've tested positive for COVID.
The local union president, who represents the majority of those who do work at the facility, says that he believes the outbreak actually ramped up after they changed their COVID-19 screening protocols from outside to inside their lobby.
They made some changes on the process of what we were doing, and being from those changes, that allowed COVID to actually walk into the institution.
Pinckney says he's working with the medical staff to contain and lower the numbers at the prison.
The institutional overall health of our inmate population is well right now, but some of the staff are not.
Jenkins says there should be more open communication between the facility and families.
He is part of that extreme high risk, and it seems he's getting better now, which is great. But it could have very well taken a very bad turn.
But for now, he says the few phone calls from his father are the only way he gets information from inside. Reporting in Williamsburg County, Lillian Donahue, Live 5 News.